Already know. Let's do it.
Alright, man, you already know what it is. Your boy Kill So Frosty. I got my boy
Flight School Pre.
And we in the building, man. Right now we on the phone with Pooh Sims, man. Pooh Sims, introduce yourself.
For y'all that don't know, it's the one and only your boy Pooh Sims. A lot of people know me as Max B co-defendant. Yeah, that's right. You heard it first. It's Max B co-defendant. I ain't never did no interviews with nobody. It's the first. It's the exclusive. You already know what it is.
Alright, man, that's what's up, man. Listen, you've been putting out this paperwork, man. So you want to start with that situation right there?
Yeah. For those that don't know, I know a lot of people know what's going on and been seeing what's going on, but for those that don't know what's going on, I put out this paperwork, how Max B was cooperating with the police. He assisted the police in turning in our other co-defendant, whose name is Gina Conway. She currently home. She ended up testifying and taking a stand on me and Max. Me and Max went to trial together. So Gina Conway took the stand against me and Max B, and for her cooperating and taking a stand, her deal was initially like 18 years, but long story short, they said if you do good, according to them, I don't know how that shit go, however that goes, excuse my language, they said that they was gonna lessen her time. So she didn't get 18 years. She got something like 15 or 16 years, but long story short, she took the stand against me and Max, and she home right now. But yeah, I've been putting the paperwork out though, how Max B cooperated with the police, assisted them in locating Gina Conway and locking her up. This was back in 2006, between September and October. I then put the paperwork out. I put the paperwork out back in 2008, 2009. I was in the Hip Hop Weekly magazine. I put the paperwork in the Hip Hop Weekly magazine. So yeah, this ain't nothing new. A lot of people been saying.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question. Like, how come it's happening now? How come you
because a lot of people say like they seen you. They heard you on a phone call with him after that. When you say in 2008 you put out paperwork, but it got like audio on the internet with you and him in the jail cells together. So why now?
That's absolutely true. Y'all absolutely right about that. But like I said, that's stuff that I really can't go into. You know what I'm saying? But that is true. But before I even did that, like I said, I put the paperwork out there and I let it be known. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So you got to remember now, my current situation, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand and look at it, you know, take a look at things from my perspective and my situation now. My focus after that, after I blew trial, was getting out of jail. That's it, man. I got 110 years currently. I got life plus 35. Over here in New Jersey, life is 75 years.
Shit, man, that's crazy. All right, let me ask you this question. Like, all right, in the videos you put out, you claim you were innocent. You basically had nothing to do with it. In the paperwork you show, it basically shows that you basically did not give any statements.
Waived his rights.
You waived your rights, so you basically asked for a lawyer. Am I getting that correct?
Definitely. Now you absolutely correct. You absolutely correct. And my position for putting that up there, like I said, I'm not telling nobody what to do or how to do what they do. I'm just educating like the younger people that's out there. And a lot of people that look up to Max B, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to let them know like this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go on records and say stuff and people be believing them. And since I've been down here, a couple of guys told me, you know what I'm saying? Like they done got into situations. I ain't going into nobody's business, but they done got involved in things by listening to Max B and listening to Dipset, you know, other rappers, like, because they believe these things that these people is actually saying on records.
Okay.
And the records is for entertainment purposes, you know what I'm saying, for freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying? That's their right. They got a right to do that. So I don't want no young guys getting misled or misguided and then getting jammed up and end up in a situation like I am or even worse, you know what I'm saying? So that's my whole even focus for, you know, just trying to educate, you know, younger people and people out there, man.
I wanted to clear this up a little bit because a lot of people are saying like that they're saying like you're not actually saying Max snitched on you. You're basically saying he cooperated in the case.
Not at all. I never once. You would never ever find no audio. Nothing came out of my mouth. I never once said Max B told on me.
Okay.
I never said that. I'm innocent. I didn't have anything to do with that. I got paperwork to prove that. That's what I'm fighting now on my appeals. So I never said Max snitched on me or cooperated against me or anything like that. What I explained was when the police came asking Max B questions in finding Gina Conway, he assisted them and helped them and gave them the locations to where Gina Conway was at. And in the midst of giving them these locations, when they went, yo?
Yeah, what's good?
Nothing, what's up, baby? What's going on?
Yeah, was this Pooh, right?
Yep, you already know. It's your boy, Pooh Simmons, man.
Yeah, what's good, man? We basically set up to start the interview so we could just start from one time right now, you know?
Got you. I'm here. You already know. Let's do it.
All right, man, you already know what it is. Your boy Kill So Frosty. I got my boy.
High school pre.
And we in the building, man. Right now, we on the phone with Pooh Sims, man. Pooh Sims, introduce yourself.
For y'all that don't know, it's the one and only your boy Pooh Sims. A lot of people know me as Max B co-defendant. Yeah, that's right. You heard it first. It's Max B co-defendant. I ain't never did no interviews with nobody. It's the first. It's the exclusive. You already know what it is.
All right, man, that's what's up, man. Listen, you've been putting out this paperwork, man. So you want to start with that situation right there?
Yeah. For those that don't know, I know a lot of people know what's going on and been seeing what's going on, but for those that don't know what's going on, I put out this paperwork, how Max B was cooperating with the police. He assisted the police in turning in our other co-defendant, whose name is Gina Conway. She currently home. She ended up testifying and taking a stand on me and Max. Me and Max went to trial together. So Gina Conway took the stand against me and Max B, and for her cooperating and taking a stand, her deal was initially like 18 years, but long story short, they said if you do good, according to them, I don't know how that shit go, however that goes, excuse my language, they said that they was going to lessen her time. So she didn't get 18 years. She got something like 15 or 16 years, but long story short, she took the stand against me and Max, and she home right now. But, yeah, I've been putting the paperwork out, though, how Max B cooperated with the police, assisted them in locating Gina Conway and locking her up. This was back in 2006, between September and October. I then put the paperwork out. I put the paperwork out back in 2008, 2009. I was in the Hip Hop Weekly magazine. I put the paperwork in the Hip Hop Weekly magazine. So yeah, this ain't nothing new. A lot of people been saying.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question. Like, how come it's happening now? How come you
because a lot of people say like they seen you. They heard you on a phone call with him after that. When you say in 2008 you put out paperwork, but it got like audio on the internet with you and him in the jail cells together. So why now?
That's absolutely true. You're absolutely right about that. But like I said, that's stuff that I really can't go into. You know what I'm saying? But that is true. But before I even did that, like I said, I put the paperwork out there and I let it be known. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So you got to remember now, my current situation, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand and look at it, you know, take a look at things from my perspective and my situation now. My focus after that, after I blew trial, was getting out of jail. That's it, man. I got 110 years currently. I got life plus 35. Over here in New Jersey, life is 75 years.
Shit, man, that's crazy. All right, let me ask you this question. Like, all right, in the videos you put out, you claim you were innocent. You basically had nothing to do with it. In the paperwork you show, it basically shows that you basically did not give any statements.
Waived his rights.
You waived your rights, and you basically asked for a lawyer. Am I getting that correct?
Definitely. Now you absolutely correct. You absolutely correct. And my position for putting that up there, like I said, I'm not telling nobody what to do or how to do what they do. I'm just educating like the younger people that's out there. And a lot of people that look up to Max B, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to let them know like this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go on records and say stuff and people be believing them. And since I've been down here, a couple of guys told me, you know what I'm saying? Like they done got into situations. I ain't going into nobody's business, but they done got involved in things by listening to Max B and listening to Dipset, you know, other rappers, like, because they believe these things that these people is actually saying on records.
Okay,
and the records is for entertainment purposes, you know what I'm saying, for freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying? That's their right. They got a right to do that. So I don't want no young guys getting misled or misguided and then getting jammed up and end up in a situation like I am or even worse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my whole even focus for, you know, just trying to educate, you know, younger people and people out there, man.
I wanted to clear this up a little bit because a lot of people are saying like that they're saying like you're not actually saying Max snitched on you. You're basically saying he cooperated in the case.
Not at all. I never once. You would never ever find no audio. Nothing came out of my mouth. I never once said Max B told on me.
Okay.
I never said that. I'm innocent. I didn't have anything to do with that. I got paperwork to prove that. That's what I'm fighting now on my appeals. So I never said Max snitched on me or cooperated against me or anything like that. What I explained was when the police came asking Max B questions and finding Gina Conway, he assisted them and helped them and gave them the locations to where Gina Conway was at. And in the midst of giving them these locations, when they went on there, so I'm not going to put out nobody's information that had that posted like that. I wouldn't dare do nothing like that to put nobody in jeopardy or anything like that, or even along.
What exactly was the situation with the studio you were talking about? They were supposed
with the studio?
Yeah, you said they were supposed to be going to the studio with Jim Jones?
Yeah. Max B was on his way to the studio this day when the police came to talk to him. So Jim Jones is in Quad Studio where Tupac got shot at. That's what Jim was doing a lot of his music at. He made a lot of his hits at. That's where he made Ballin' at. But he was down in the studio and he was waiting for Max B to come to the studio. So upon waiting for Max B to come to the studio, Max doesn't show up at the time he's supposed to, so he's wondering where he at. So at the time, back in 2006, we had Nextel phones. If you know anything about the Nextel phone, it got a bleep on it. Jim Jones came straight through the bleep, asking Max B, like, yo, where you at? Like, we on the clock. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying for the studio time. Let's make it happen. Max B hit Jim Jones back. Was like, yo, I got the police right here. They questioning me about some BS.
Okay.
Jim Jones responded back. Jim Jones responded back through the bleep. F them. You don't have to say nothing to them. Tell them to talk to your lawyer. Same thing I did.
Okay.
And that don't mean you're doing nothing wrong. You just invoking your constitutional right that, okay, y'all want to talk to me. I have nothing to say to y'all. Y'all can talk to my lawyer.
Okay.
A lot of people.
So what happened with that, though, is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you could continue.
Yeah, so what happened with that was after Jim Jones told him and the police heard Jim Jones say for them to talk to his lawyer, they backed off. Because once you let the police know that I want my lawyer, you can talk to my lawyer, they supposed to back off. Technically, they're supposed to back off. They're not supposed to continue to try to pressure you to talk or anything like that. So they told Max, look, we're going to give you our card. If you want to call us, feel free to call us on your own. 2-3 days later go by, Max start calling these people on their own, volunteering information, letting them know this is where you can find Gina Conway at this building, this apartment number. And she was also working at a gentleman's club called Sin City, a strip club. And he told them that they could either find her at Sin City or they would be able to find her at this apartment, this address. And at first, he only gave them the building number. And he told them, if you look at the paperwork, it's on my Instagram, at the Real Pooh Sims, he told them the building number first. So it was kind of like they was playing cat and mouse. He called them, tell them the building number. They go look, they couldn't find her. There's a lot of people in this building in Harlem. If you know anything about Harlem, big buildings, a lot of people. So they couldn't find her. So they hit Max back. They called Max back. They said, look, we can't find her. There's too many people coming in and out this building. You need to give us an apartment number. He said, all right, I got y'all. I'm going to hit y'all back. Give me a second. He called back some time later. Yeah, you heard it right. Max B called back some time later. He gave them the apartment number. They went to the apartment, searched the apartment. They seen that Gina Conway wasn't there in the apartment. All along now, this apartment that he's sending them to is his own brother apartment. So according to the paperwork, if you read it, when the police come to go search the apartment, which is his brother's apartment, he let them in, told them Gina was never there. He never seen her, anything like that. Long story short, they find Gina at Sin City. They lock her up. She tells them, yes, I was in that apartment. So what they do, they go back to that apartment and they holler at Max B. brother, and they let him know, technically, we can lock you up because you had a person in here that we was looking for and you lied to us. Anybody that know, if you harboring a fugitive in your house, you can be locked up for that. So I don't know why Max B did that. That's a question that people who like him or whatever will have to ask him. Why would you send the police to your brother's apartment knowing that he could get locked up on top of you cooperating and assisting the police? That's a question that he got to ask. Only a question that he can answer. Only he can answer that. But when they went back, they told his brother we could lock you up. They searched the apartment. Now, when they searched the apartment, they ended up finding proceeds that supposed to have came from the crime.
Oh, so you're saying like when the apartment that Max B gave him to go to basically had the evidence from the crime that happened?
Exactly. And that was presented in our trial and all that. All you got to do, check out the paperwork. Paperwork is on my Instagram, like I said, at the Real Pooh Sims. It's on the Jig Is Up series. The Jig Is Up series start at 5. So that's the Jig Is Up part 5 through 12. I still got more paperwork that I'm putting up there too, because as you can see, it's transcripts.
Yeah.
So I'm putting up transcripts, and I only could put up 10 pages at a time.
Quick question.
So, you know, I put 10 pages up, and I break it down for everybody, because some people, you know, they don't have the time to sit there and read through all them papers or whatever. So after I post some papers,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
but I'm calling right back. Don't you worry, I'm calling right back.
I want you to explain to the people that the paper, because a lot of people question if the paperwork is real or not, and they said like it got 69 precinct on the paperwork, and 69 precinct is not in Harlem.
Okay, I'm gonna break that down for you. 69th precinct is where I got locked up at. I was the last one to get locked up. That's where they came and got me from. So that's the reason why I say 69th precinct. But I'm gonna call right.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
I'm calling right back. Gotcha.
All right, bet.
All right.
All right, yeah, we pretty much ready to go, man.
Got you.
So like we was talking about,
Yeah,
we was talking about last time before we got off. We was talking about like the paperwork and the 6ix9ine stuff, and you were explaining that's where you got locked up at, right?
Yeah. The reason why my paperwork say the 69th precinct is because I didn't get locked up over here in Jersey. I got locked up when the police came from Jersey. They came to New York. For those that don't know, I'm from Harlem.
Okay.
So I was in Harlem when the police came. They went to my mom's house, kicked my mom's door in and all that, looking for me. So she let me know, these people looking for you, this, that, and the third. Cool. So now what I was doing is I was trying to get myself prepared to turn myself in, because I know how the police do. See it every day, man. Young black men getting killed by the police brutality. This ain't nothing new to people in the hood like me.
All right.
So I know how they play and how they would try to, you know, get me to say something slick or say something that I'm not knowledgeable of once I get in the precinct. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to get my lawyer to go with my lawyer and turn myself in. That way none of these games could be played. So I was waiting at the time. I reached out to Jim Jones. And
Yeah, you said you hollered at Jim Jones so he could refer you to a lawyer?
Not get me a lawyer. Let's make that clear, people. I didn't ask Jim Jones to get me a lawyer. I asked him to refer me to a lawyer.
Okay.
Because the case was out here in Jersey. He live out here in Jersey, so I felt he would be more familiar with, you know, maybe attorneys out here in New Jersey. Because it would make no sense for me to get an attorney from New York to deal with a situation in Jersey.
Yeah.
So when I reached out to Jim, he ain't never get back to me, and then I ended up getting locked up. And then when I got locked up, that's where they took me to. They took me to the 69th precinct. As you can see, I invoked my constitutional rights. I told them I got nothing to say to you. They was trying to play games, as you can see in the paperwork, trying to get me to sign some papers. I said, I'm not signing nothing. I'm not putting my Hancock on anything. I want my lawyer. Talk to my lawyer. I have nothing to say to y'all. They seen I wasn't willing to talk to them, and I wanted my lawyer. So that's when they ended the interview, and they took me to Rikers Island from the 69th precinct. And I had to wait on Rikers Island. I was going back and forth fighting extradition, because they don't just take you. They can't just take you straight to Jersey if you in another state. You got to go through the extradition process.
Let me ask you a question. When did you find out that Max was cooperating on the case, and that's how they ended up finding Gina, and that's how, you know, she ended up getting caught up and she ended up snitching on you guys?
I didn't know none of this until I got my discovery. Now, what happened was, the whole time, as I told you, I was on Rikers Island for 90 days fighting extradition. New York said, you got to go to Jersey. They signed the extradition papers and sent me to Jersey.
Before you
now
continue, because I know there's
Jersey,
going to be people, in case people from out of town, maybe some certain different people, explain to them what a discovery is exactly.
Discovery is anything that the state has against you, they have to turn it over so you can prepare your defense. So discovery can be any statements, any type of photos, any type of evidence, period. Whatever evidence that the state has, that is considered discovery.
All right, so
and that is supposed to be turned. Yeah, that's supposed to be turned over to the defense.
All right, so from then on, when you knew. All right, let me ask you a question. So when you knew, you found that out kind of early in the case, kind of.
Nah, not really. So I'm breaking it down for you. So what happened now? Right. I get over there. I explained. I'm the last person that got locked up.
All right.
So when I get over there, when I get to Jersey, Max B is already over here. Gina Conway is already over here.
All right.
Boom. Max B was in the process of waiting for a bail to happen. Jim Jones, he was waiting for Jim to bail him out. I ain't going into all the particulars as far as that situation with the bail. People done heard about that already.
Okay.
What I'm going to say is this. Jim Jones was asked to put up his properties for Max. He didn't want to put up his properties. So what happened was, a girl that I was dealing with, she had 2 brownstones in New York.
Okay.
Long story short, she ended up putting up her properties for Max.
All right.
And this is how Max got out of jail, out on bail. So the whole time we waiting from about January to about June, July, when Max B got bailed out. Jim Jones was trying to get him out. He was going back and forth. Max was saying Jim ain't want to get him out. They was having, a little back and forth or whatever. Cam even tried to come in and get Max B out. Cam put up some money, put up his property. Bergen County informed Cam that his property wasn't enough for the bail. So they needed some more from him or some more money from him.
All right.
And that's when Cam backed out. Cam said, if y'all not going to put my money in some type of account where this thing could grow interest, then I'm good. So he backed out. Cam didn't get him. So now Jim Jones come through. The girl that I used to deal with, she put up her properties. She got Max out.
Okay.
Now, we wasn't indicted at this time. You usually don't get from what I know, you usually don't get your discovery until after you're indicted. You have to get indicted first in order to get your discovery. Because if you don't get indicted, then the case is thrown out and there's no case.
Okay.
So we wasn't indicted yet. We didn't get indicted until about October of 2007. And as I explained, Max got bailed out about June or July. So he was already out by the time I got this discovery. And I still didn't know that he did none of this because he never told me he did none of this.
Okay.
He never talked about none of this. So now about October, I get my discovery. And when I'm going through my discovery to see how am I even in this position, that's when I came across that Max B cooperated and assisted the police with helping turn in Gina Conway.
And it was her that gave you up. Gina.
Yeah. What happened was he told him where she was at. When he told him where she was at, when they went and got her, they found out. Max let us know where you was at. Somebody else also gave them information where she was at, but that person is irrelevant. I ain't even speaking on that person.
Okay.
Max B and somebody else gave them the information where she was at. They locked her up. When they locked her up, she implicated Max and she implicated me.
Okay, yeah.
You had any relationship with her for her to even go that route?
Nah. She wasn't really nobody, man. She was somebody that he just was knocking down. She just was another female, you know what I'm saying? So that was always a problem because I don't know this girl. She even said it. She only seen me 2 times her whole life.
Okay.
I always was around Max though, but I never was around Max whenever he would deal with her. That's his business. He going to do what he do, smash, keep it moving. But I always would tell him, just, females, period, don't worry about the females because, you got your career to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a guy that that was always around him, like, you know what I'm saying, all the time. So, you know, I used to make sure he was good, whatever he needed, you know what I'm saying, I hold him down, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. For those that don't know, Max B's father is married to my mother, and they got 3 kids together. So we got long history. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. Like,
So this
he's
deeper,
my family. Like, he's really my family.
Just like
Yeah, it's deeper than that. Exactly. Exactly. It's deeper than that. His pops is married to my mom's, you know what I'm saying? And they got 3 kids together, 2 boys, 1 girl. So, you know, I would make sure Max was good because, you know, he smoke, drink. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do none of that. So I'm always sober. You know, I'm always on point, you know. Haters out there, people that, you know, might want to bring harm to, you know, him, Jim, whatever, you know, but I don't smoke. So I always used to make sure he was good. And long story short, when I seen that like had me like, I was confused because I'm saying to myself, damn it, Jim told him like, yo, tell him to talk to the lawyer. Then what will be the point of you talking to the lawyer? But like I said, that's only questions that he can answer. I can't answer those questions.
So let me ask you a question. Like, I know you mentioned earlier in some of your IG videos that you sent out the paperwork to a few people that were that have clout in the game and they never put it out. How do you feel about the fact that you didn't put out that paperwork?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like I said, I can't speak for them. I don't know why they didn't. Only person I know that like I said, I haven't talked to Jim in years.
Okay.
I don't have no problems with Jim. I knew Jim before he even knew Max.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew Jim growing up in the hood. Cam, that was Cam, man. Cam from my hood. Cam used to bring him through. So I knew Jim before Max was even signed to him. So we never had no beef or none of that. We ain't beefing. Ain't none of that. We ain't on that type of time. But since this case, I haven't spoken to him. You know, when I was home, I used to always see him, be around him all the time, you know, party, chill with him, all that good stuff. So we stopped speaking, and what happened was when we stopped speaking, it was because of the Max situation. You know, him and Max, they had a fallout or whatever for whatever reasons they had. Yeah, they had like a little fallout or whatever. So as far as that situation, yeah, like, I ain't never had no problems with him. But like I said, the only one, and I'm going to keep it real because I'm a real guy. Even though, like I said, me and Jim don't talk, he was the only one that was adamant in his position. I hollered at Jim. This at the time he was doing a Van Life clothing line. He had Dane Dash with him. They was in the studio, you know, with the clothing line. He said, look, shoot me the paperwork. I got you. You already know. Cool, no problem. I shot Jim the paperwork. Jim did a song. He mentioned this on the song. The song is called Frenemies. It's on his album called Pray for Rain.
Yeah, yeah.
First verse, he talking about Cam. Second verse, he talking about Max. Whenever Jim would do interviews, they ask him, yo, what's up with Max? His position would be, I don't care about Max. I don't got nothing to say to him. He's a sucker. He did what he did. That's it. He was the only one that was on that type of time. Okay. That's it. I sent the paperwork to Cam. He said, yo, his response, what Pooh Sims want me to do with this? I ain't tell Cam what to do with the paperwork. I just was sending it to him just to let him know what was going on. I sent the paperwork when Remy Ma was locked up. But look into this, people. This ain't nothing I'm making up. At the time I was locked up, fighting my case, Remy Ma was locked up for her case. Max B had a little disagreement with Pat Poose. For those that don't know, 50 Cent took over the radio station on Power 105. Okay. He had Max B up there. Right after he had Max B, I guess Pat Poose was supposed to come in and also do an interview. Long story short, they came across each other. They had words. I knew Pat Poose was Remy's husband. I said, let me shoot the paperwork to Remy so that way I could let people know. Another reason why I wanted to send this paperwork to Remy Ma, back in 2006, me, Jim Jones, and Max B, we did the Harlem Parade. It's a parade that happened every year in Harlem. It ain't happened this year, you know, due to the coronavirus. We did the Harlem Parade. Who was on the float? Remy Ma came on the float with us. Chilled out, showed some love. Young B was on there too. So we did the Harlem Parade. So, you know, she was cool with the family, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing but love with Remy. So I said, let me get the paperwork to Remy. I shot it to Remy. Another person I shot it to. I shot it to Prodigy. God bless the dead. Prodigy was locked up. For those that don't know, he had a gun charge.
Yeah, yeah.
He had to do his time. He went upstate.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Prodigy was in mid-state. I wrote Prodigy. Prodigy hit me back. I got the letters, too. I got the letters from Prodigy. I'll send those, too. Sent Prodigy the paperwork. He said he was going to give it to 50 Cent. I don't know whatever happened to that. God bless the dead. Prodigy ain't here with us no more. So I don't know what happened, if he ever gave it to 50 Cent or what. I'm going to call right back. I ain't done. I'm going to call right back. It's hanging up. I'm calling right back. All right.
Gods of the City Podcast is the name of the podcast.
I just want to make sure. I got you.
Yeah, we had to switch it up a little bit so we could try to get the audio in tune. So I kind of did it a little different, but it's the same podcast. We run it as the we dropping it as the podcast episode anyway, you know? Because I got me and my.
All right, no. I just wanted to know because I'm about to I'm gonna let everybody know that y'all definitely I'm sending y'all the paperwork, so y'all gonna have it. Y'all the first ones that's getting it. The only place it's been is on my Instagram. Like I told you, the dude Gully, I was trying to get it to him, but he did some sucker shit, and he never got it in its entirety. He literally only got like 5 or 6 pages.
What happened? They didn't want to
ain't nobody got it. So. Nah, he did some bullshit. What he did was when I gave it to him, he was supposed to hit my peoples back to let me know if everything was good, so they wouldn't have to keep resending it. And he never hit them back, so he just went on his podcast and he started talking about it, which is cool. So he started promoting like I'm saying this because Max gave back time, and I'm still here. And he spoke to J.R. Ryder, little brother, and a couple other people, and they told him that I gave it to them back in 2008. So for you to go on, you know what I'm saying, your podcast and be saying that, like that's not accurate. If you're gonna state the facts, state the facts. You know what I'm saying? That can't be accurate if I put it out in 2008 before you ever existed. He was never even out when I put this shit out. So what I'm saying, so for him, so he told me though he was a Max B fan, right? So then boom, he like, yo, shoot me the rest of the paperwork. I said, I don't have no problem giving you the rest of the paperwork, but you need to let people know that you misspoke. He ain't want to do that, so I ain't give him the rest of the paperwork. Then he went on there talking about, I don't see what Max B did nothing wrong, ain't nothing. So I'm like, all right, I ain't got time for that type of energy. So I never gave him the rest of the paperwork. I just kept putting it up on my Instagram by myself. So I knew he was going to eat his words anyway, because, you know what I'm saying, like, you could read it yourself. Anybody with 2 eyes could read it and see what it say.
Yeah, I read
clearly
it.
you see that Max B assisted the police.
I read it. I reached out to you guys because I figured, like, you know what? I see you getting the story out there, and basically once I see that the paperwork is official, it says what it says. I mean,
exactly.
It showed that in the transcripts that I seen, it showed that the lawyers basically cross-examining like some of the detectives, asking the detectives how much Max B cooperated. Was that correct?
Yeah, nah, you absolutely right. When you look, like I said, it's on my page at The Real Pooh Sims. The jig is up. Part 5 through 12. Part 5 is my paperwork. Part 6 through 12 is all Max B paperwork. And the way it goes is the prosecutor got to question the officer first. Then Max B lawyer got to question the officer. And then my lawyer gets to question the officer. So people are saying you keep putting up the same paperwork. It's not the same paperwork. That's the way trial work, people. I ain't make that the way it is. The prosecutor asked the questions first about Max B cooperating. His lawyer asked the questions about Max cooperating. And his lawyer even says, if you look at the paperwork, my client cooperated. He gave y'all the locations where Gina Conway was at. So why is my client even in court for this case?
Because this
comes out his own lawyer mouth.
See, this is where the case kind of caught my eye. When I seen that he mentioned the fact that, all right, my client cooperated, but yet y'all arrested my client an hour after he cooperated.
Exactly.
I'm like, bro, I mean, because I did a commentary on it, and a lot of people were like, yo, where's Max B snitching at? And I'm like, bro, I mean, like, once you're from any type of neighborhood, you're gonna know if a guy is giving up, I mean, is saying that much to the police. I mean,
he ain't supposed to talk.
He's not supposed to talk that. Like, is he?
Even if you wasn't
Past,
dead.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Is like, what are you saying?
If you wasn't dead, then you shouldn't have that much to say to the cops.
And I'm about to tell you this. This is why I love it, right? This is why my page is open. I ain't got nothing to hide, and I'm laughing when people are saying this is fake, right? Because I'm not done yet. I got Max B's phone records, and on the phone records, anybody that know about phone records, it tells you the cell tower that the call pings off of, and where you at, and the number that you called. Yeah. So I want to see what people gonna say when I put the phone records out there to show that he was calling the police at the times that they said, that's in the paperwork that's currently on my page. I got letters from Max. I got letters that Max B wrote to Gina Conway in jail, talking crazy. Like I said, I'm not going to give it all up just yet. It's going to be on my page. I'm going to make sure I hit guards with it.
Give me a little snippet, like talking crazy like what? Like he was like talking crazy like what?
One of the things he's telling this girl is in there that you gonna see, he's telling the girl to testify on me. He's telling her, I can't tell you what to do. Do what you do. I'm not mad at you. I know you gotta save yourself. Another thing he said, I don't know why he said this. As I stated, I had nothing to do with this. I have an alibi that I wasn't even in Jersey at the time this happened. He's telling Gina in a letter, yo, I tried to get Sims like $4,000, but he fucked it up for us. So I'm saying us. I'm not a part of it. So what you mean us? What the fuck is you writing this for? Excuse my language. I'm getting a little excited. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why would you be writing this? But before he writes this, he says in the letter, I don't know if I should be writing you because these letters could come back to haunt me. Like I said, people, this ain't nothing that I'm making up, man. Okay. It's gonna be out there. I'm putting this up so he know what he's doing. This is what I'm saying. This man knows what he's doing. And it goes back to what y'all said. If that's what you do and you say you live that life and you about that life, cool. I'm not telling nobody how to live. I'm just putting the facts out there. That's all I'm doing, man. I've always been a positive guy. I ain't never say I was no gangster, none of that. I'm a good dude, man.
So
most I ever had got locked up for was a drug charge.
All right, let me ask you this question. So basically, would you say you're basically incarcerated off the strip of Gina Conway testifying against you solely?
Exactly. There's no other evidence connecting me to this crime. That's it. Besides Gina Conway implicating me. It was one of the victims that survived. They showed him photos. He identified somebody else in the photo. They showed him my photos along with other people's photos. He picked out somebody else. They were saying the cab driver was supposed to be taking me and Gina out here to Jersey. That never happened. They showed the cab driver photos. He picked out Max B photo. He never picked out Pooh Sims photo. All this came up in my trial. Like I said, a young black man in the system. I already know how it is. They railroad people every day. People who think that is not true, it's true. I say all that to say, as y'all was saying, Max B didn't have to talk to the police at all. Like I said, if you live that life, you about that life, what would be the purpose of Jim Jones coming through his bleep and telling him, tell them to talk to the lawyer? He ain't say that just to be wasting his breath. He's telling him what he already know. And Max B, for those that don't know, he was locked up for a robbery, did about 8-9 years. He got sentenced to 10 years. He did like 8 or 9 years. So I say that to say this man clearly knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Real quick, like he responded and he's saying that he got the same paperwork, but it says otherwise.
Got you. To that response, all I'm gonna say is you are absolutely right. Of course he got the same paperwork. People, we went to trial together. His paperwork not gonna say nothing different. You don't gotta believe me or listen to me. Like I said, reach out to him, y'all. Tell him to put his paperwork out.
Basically, my co-host saying, he's saying that he has the same paperwork, but there's is different wording in it. Basically saying this.
Yeah, he's saying
it can't be, that's why I just said.
Max saying it's full of shit.
No, I know, got you. And this is what I'm saying. Of course, he has the same paperwork, but it's no different wording. These are transcripts that came from the court. The reason why, if you look at my old post, go back on my page at The Real Pooh Sims, I'm explaining that. These transcripts, this is public information.
Yeah,
I was always saying from day one, look, I was always saying this from day one. If I can get a legitimate source to give this stuff to, that I know that will look into it and see on their own, I've been willing to give this information up, but I just didn't want to give it to anybody because, like I said, I know a lot of people like Max B, and they might be biased and try to change the narrative and make it look like Max didn't do nothing wrong. So I always was waiting for, long as I got a solid, legitimate person who was of integrity and good character and not going to be biased and look into it and not just listen to me, then cool. You know what I'm saying? I had no problem giving up the paperwork. But like I said, people, you could call the Bergen County Courthouse. When you see that indictment number that's on there, you ain't got to listen to me. Call the Bergen County Courthouse. Google the number. Call. It's freedom of information. This is information for the public. You might have to pay for them transcripts.
Let me ask you this.
I'm not giving it to nobody unless they solid.
Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that people are not really taking this as serious because they're fans of Max B?
I don't believe it's that. What I believe is it's motivated by financial reasons. They don't want to take it serious, and they don't want to accept it for what it is, because Max B, he was doing a lot of things in his music career, and he was dealing with a lot of people, and he was on his way to being big. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people want him to come home and do music with him, you know, so they could benefit financially. So they thinking from the financial aspect, you know, he gonna come home, he did time to them, so-called, he held it down, so that's gonna boost up his reputation, so let me do some music with him or get in with him so I can make money. And that's what they thinking about, because clearly anybody that know right from wrong, that say they about that life, is right there, man, right on my page at the Real Pooh Sims, man. You can check it out.
You ever sat down and wonder why the girl would implicate you?
Yeah, for a couple reasons. Like I said, she was getting passed through. You know what I'm saying? His brother knocked her down. He knocked her down. You know what I'm saying? I always would tell him, though, like, keep her away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a person, you know, like I said, I'm not about that life. I ain't never say I was no gangster, none of that. I'm a cool dude, laid back, man. I've been around, though, people that have been in the streets. So I could, you know, tell good energy from bad energy. And I seen this girl, only thing she was thinking about was coming up, the limelight, money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you don't need that type of chick around you. So my whole thing, every time I always would tell him, like, yo, send her back to wherever she came from. So she kind of see me as a threat to get into Max.
Okay.
Because like I said, his pops married to my brother. I mean, my mom's. That's like my brother. We family.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell him nothing wrong. So this bra, she ain't never liked that. So she never liked me because, like I said, I was on a different type of time. So she wasn't feeling that.
All right, that makes sense right there. I mean, since he been home, did you ever hear any response from her since you've been putting out your stories?
Nah. She reached out. I guess she was trying to holler at me, talking about I'm lying. She got paperwork too. All I'm asking is, cool, if I'm lying, nobody got to believe me, man. These people that say I'm lying and got paperwork, put the paperwork out. That's all. What you waiting for? This should have been out. Mine out.
What is she trying to say you lying about, though?
She's trying to say that I'm lying, that Max didn't assist the police in turning her in. As I told y'all, it was another person that also did that, which she was having sex with. I don't know if that was her boyfriend or whatever. She was having sex with whoever she wanted to. That's her business. I ain't judging her. Like I said, one of the persons she was having sex with, he worked at the Sin City nightclub. He was locked up for having possession of stuff that came from the crime, because allegedly, I don't know.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I read through my discovery that Gina Conway supposed to have gave him stuff that came from the crime, and they locked him up. So technically, when you receive stuff from a crime, you are in possession of stolen property, and you can get locked up. So long story short, she's saying that she got the paperwork and that her boyfriend or whoever told on her and not Max. It's all the same paperwork. I can assure you it's not going to say nothing different, man. Okay. I'm calling right back.
All right. Basically entangled you into the whole situation because she didn't like you from prior. You were trying to keep her out the circle, and she was
yeah.
John. She said that her boyfriend gave it up on her. Basically, he's the one who gave it up on her. But and like I said, as far as your paperwork goes, it basically shows that it seemed like a domino effect starting from the situation as when they basically asked Max B for the questions. So it seems like Max B, and then I guess maybe the evidence that she has it's from her boyfriend. Maybe it's supported what Max B said, but from what I'm seeing when I read the paperwork, it's basically showing that Max B tried to get them to Pooh Sims. Max B tried to get them to Gina Conway, and somehow that's how you guys got involved, because his brother got caught up. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Nah, that's definitely what happened. Just to clear the record, right? Because a lot of people also was asking, how did the police even get to Max B? So I didn't really get that up. Like I said, I only could put some pages up at a time on my Instagram at The Real Pooh Sims. You can check it out. What happened was, long story short, Gina Conway, she was identified by the victim. The victim gave them her name, which was Gina. She was caught on the camera in the hotel where this happened at. So when they got her picture from the hotel, I guess they ran facial recognition, or however these police do. I don't know nothing about that. They found out who she was, where she was from. They went to Gina Conway's family home. They went to her mother. They asked her mother, where's Gina Conway? She told them, let me make sure, because I don't want people to say, oh, I'm misspeaking. Somebody in her family, either the mother or somebody, told them she left because she's from down south or somewhere, or Baltimore maybe. They said that she left. She went to New York with a guy named Max B. She hasn't been back since. Now, when they run Max B name through, his mother comes up because they don't have an address for him. So they get an address for his mother. When they go to his mother and they asking his mother, where is Max B? She tells them, my son is at this address. This is where you could find him at, so y'all could go talk to him. When they came and talked to him, that's how he gave them the information.
So you think French and them know all of this?
I'm sorry, I hear you. What you said?
Like French, I said you think these guys know all of this information?
Like French Montana.
They know.
Nah, he know. He used to French Montana. Like I said, he came up. He was doing his thing before Max. He linked up with Max while Max was out on bail. He wasn't nowhere near as big as he was now. So, Max showed them love. He embraced them, put them on songs. They was doing songs together. French Montana found out when I did the Hip Hop Weekly article. One day, coming from trial, French Montana was coming to my trial, right in the back in the audience, watching the trial on some days. They went home. Max B got the article. He seen the article. He put me on speaker. Him and French Montana was like, yo, Sims, why you wildin'? What you doing? I explained to French. I said, man, French, I'm just putting the information out there. I don't know what Max is telling you. I don't know if he been lying to you, but this is the truth. Whether you accept it or not, it is what it is. So they was telling me to chill out. I'm going to mess it up for Max. Like, he about to go. He about to be big. This, that, and the third. Me, I'm a person of morals, principles, values. Nothing come before that. Everything is after that. I'm a man first. Like I said, this is deeper than what people think. This has came between my family. I'm not even speaking to people on my family behind this situation. So why would I want to put some fake news out there to mess up my family? Forget the situation with Max B. This my family I got to also deal with behind this situation and other stuff. So why would I even play games with something like this? I ain't got no reason to play games. But like I said, the individual that I am and that I was raised to be was of integrity, character, morals, principles, values. So just because Max B is my family, am I supposed to just say, oh no, I'm going to sweep this under the rug? Nah, that's not me. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself doing that. So I put it out there so people could know. You know what I'm saying? It don't get no realer than that.
It was no.
A lot of people would have been like, man, I'm gonna keep quiet. I'm gonna just let Max do what he do. I'm gonna blow. I'm gonna be right there with him, knowing that this situation happened and it ain't right.
I'm pretty sure somebody asked you this already, right? I wanted to ask you this anyway since we're on the interview. In the beginning of your Instagrams, you used to basically shout Max B out, and then a little further down, I mean, you did say you had something coming, but it's like how people want to know how come you used to shout him out in the beginning of right in the beginning of your Instagram post, and then like
if you look, those wasn't no. That's why I'm gonna clear the air. Those wasn't shout outs.
Okay.
I was speaking on the situation and I was letting it be known. So, like I said, I may not want to mention a person's name, but I have to in order to tell the events that happened. So in the old post, you will see that I said I was speaking to Max B when I did the interview for Dawn Diva. Max B was supposed to do the interview with me and set the record straight, let people know like I had nothing to do with this. At the last minute, he said, nah, I can't do it. Every time I would come to Max B in reference to my innocence, it was always resistance.
But
I could never get anything from him. I will always ask him, yo, put this on your platform. Let people know. Like, don't just listen to me. You got the evidence. Put this up there so people could see it. I need people to see that I'm actually innocent. So I asked him to put it on his social media. I asked him to holler at French, put it on his social media.
Did you have a paid lawyer for the trial?
For the trial, I had 2 paid female attorneys. But once I blew trial, all I had was public defenders.
So there's no way for those attorneys to pick at Gina Conway.
And they wasn't helping me. They wasn't helping me.
Okay.
I didn't have a paid attorney, so it was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm fed to the wolves. So the only way I figured that I would be able to get my story out and my innocence out was by hollering at Max because he has a platform. So I'm asking him to present this to the people and let them know. But I knew it wasn't going to happen because, as I told y'all, I put the paperwork out back in 2008, 2009. So I knew that that was on his heart. Like, how you asking me to do something for you and then you went and did that? Which I didn't do nothing wrong. I just put the paperwork out there. But that's common sense. Why would he help me when I put the paperwork out there on him already?
How did it make you feel when you seen him get those years back?
Nah, I wasn't mad at all. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't mad at all. I would never want to see nobody in jail. I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? I would never want to see nobody in jail. People got family, maybe kids. You know what I'm saying?
But did you feel like it was like a small
I would never want to see.
Did you feel like it was like a small victory for you? Like they'll probably hear your case out?
No, definitely I did, because now I always looked at it from a positive perspective. Now that would shed light on my case even more, and people would be able to see and hear about my innocence. So I was happy for him. I ain't have no problem with him giving that time back. I was happy for him. I'm still happy for him to this day. But I'm going to tell it like it is, though, at the same time.
This is what I'm saying, like, so you guys being, the fact that you guys are basically like half brothers because your mom's is married to his, your pops is married to his mother, right?
Yeah, his father is married to my mother.
Yeah, his father's married to your mother. So now that he's coming home, do you think, is that what you're saying that's having you not speak to your family because, like, it's leaving the family?
No. Nah, that's not it. Me putting this information out there and speaking on it. This is causing the problem. See what I'm saying? They will prefer me not to say nothing because he's family, so just leave it alone. I can't do that, man. So this is what I'm giving up at the end of the day. I'm giving up my family for something that I believe in and stand for. That's why I'm telling people this ain't no joke. This is serious. Like, this is deeper than what people think.
Yeah, I mean, that's true right there. Oh, man. So let me ask you a question. How's everything going for you as far as, like...
the appeal?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, I'm definitely looking good. Got people been reaching out to me since I've been doing this. A lot of people been hitting me up. I just want to say I definitely appreciate all the love and support. People that have been DMing me. People been hitting me up on JPay, sending me emails and showing me love. So yeah, I got a couple of things lined up, and right now, due to the coronavirus, the courts are not open. So I'm on hold right now. I can't go to court, and that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to go to court. You know, once this pandemic roll over, God willing, I get back in court, man, and I'll be back there, man. So that's what I'm focused on, man. But anybody, you know, people been asking me how can they help me or how can they even donate money to me. So what I did was I started a GoFundMe page. You could look at that. You could donate if you want to donate. I appreciate it.
What's the name of the GoFundMe?
Sincerely from the heart. It's under my name, Kelvin Leardan, but you could go to my Instagram page, and it's on my Instagram page at The Real Pooh Sims. I guess it's maybe in my bio. Probably could check in my bio, but it's on there. For anybody that want to help, I appreciate the help. Appreciate the love and support, man.
All right, man. I know you got more stuff that you're gonna put out, so I don't want to take everything from you until you put out the more of the story. So maybe we could do a part 2 when you get all your paperwork out. I want to thank you for calling in and filling us in with filling us in with the info, and like I said, send us the paperwork. We're gonna run through it. I'm gonna put this out right there, and then we're gonna run through it with the paperwork same way. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. What I'm gonna do is, people, y'all hearing it first. I'm sending my whole transcript, nothing blocked out, none of that. Guards of the City podcast, man. They're going to be the only ones that got it in its entirety. Sending it straight to them. I'm going to get the letters to them. I'm going to get everything to them as I'm putting it up on my page. But right now, for the time being, I'm going to make sure y'all get the transcripts ASAP. Y'all have those next week, so y'all can post them yourself, man. Anybody that want to look into it, like I said, you can call the Bergen County Courthouse yourself, people. The indictment number on there, the lawyer's names is on there, the prosecutor who prosecuted the case name is on there. All that's on there, people, man. You want to look into it? Go ahead, feel free, man. This ain't nothing I'm making up.
Apart from the people, man, I want you to probably speak to the people that the rappers and all the entertainers that are from this life and that know that they should be doing the right thing. And I think that they should also step up as, like, I would say like this, is just the same way people were able to say, oh, Tekashi did this and they're not messing with him.
Yeah.
If the proof is in the pudding, you have to do the right thing.
You gotta keep that same energy.
Got you. That's why if you see on my old post, I'm glad you said that. I mentioned that on old posts. You could go and look at my old post, people, at the Real Pooh Sims. I specifically stated people that was either shouting Max out or did songs with him or holding him up, that he owes y'all an explanation, you know, like Rick Ross. Wiz Khalifa always been showing them big love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He did a song with Mano, A Boogie with the Hoodie, Dave East, ASAP Ferg, all these people, Styles P, and so on and so forth. He owed these people an explanation because he was lying to them. And a lot of these people, not saying that they're in anything wrong or anything criminal, they don't condone this type of behavior.
Yeah.
And had they known this, they probably would have never did no songs with him, been shouting him out, or anything like that.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
So that was my purpose for letting them know that Max B owes y'all explanation. And you absolutely right. The same way they did Tekashi, saying that because he told and cooperated, the same got to go with Max B. Ain't no different. Or whoever it is. It don't matter who it is. If anybody is doing that, if that's how you living and that's what you believe in, then that's what you got to stand on, man. That's what it is at the end of the day.
All right, man. Yo, Pooh.
But, I'll be back.
All right, Pooh. I want to thank you for calling in today,
You
man.
have 30 seconds remaining.
Yep. Appreciate the love and support,
I'm gonna put up all your information so they have all your information in the whole interview.
Man, stay blessed,
Don't worry,
man.
we got you, man. Keep your head up, stay blessed, and we're gonna keep in contact. I'm gonna send your cousin my email, and we get everything. We get everything in order, right?
I definitely want to say, everybody out there, make sure y'all wear your masks and stay safe, man. This thing is real. This pandemic is crazy, man. Make sure y'all stay safe, man.
That's
love.
Up.
You already know what it is,
man.
man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man.
Appreciate y'all, baby. I'll let y'all later.
Yeah.
Bless.